Now, there's been no shortage of big moments in Scottish politics in the last few months, but the announcement of a new political party by Alex Salmond this week was still a huge development. The electoral system in Scotland means that the pro-independence Alba party might not damage the SNP on paper, but of course the independence movement appears as divided as ever. Now, this weekend, Nicola Sturgeon has said there are serious questions about Alex Salmond's behaviour towards women in the past, which she says raises real questions about the appropriateness of any return to public office. Well, yesterday, the former Justice Secretary Kenny MacAskill became the most senior person yet to quit the SNP to join Alba. He joins us now. Thank you very much for being with us, Mr MacAskill. Now, you, of course, support Scottish independence, but then 6 weeks before these critical Scottish elections, you quit the SNP. Why do you think the SNP are no longer the party to deliver independence?
Well, this is about adding to the SNP. This is about delivering the independent supermajority. We are not contesting the lists of the constituency seats. That will be for individuals to decide, and certainly I'll be voting SNP where I live. But we are contesting the list seat, and in 2016, over 1 million people voted SNP on the list, and only 4 list MSPs were returned for the SNP. An opinion poll just yesterday indicated that none would be returned. So what we are doing by asking people to vote Alba on the list is to deliver that independent supermajority, so that on the 6th of May, when its election is counted, the Scottish Parliament will stand against Boris Johnson. It will be Scottish democracy, having supported independence overwhelmingly, I hope, that will be juxtaposed with Boris Johnson saying that Scotland's just got to do what he says, and that's unacceptable.
Come on, this isn't about Boris Johnson, is it? You might say, of course, and I understand fully, that the list system means that in many ways it might appear to benefit the independence movement on paper. But what you're doing is making this election all about catfighting in the independence movement, Nicola Sturgeon versus Alex Salmond. And I think some people might say, well, hang on, how can you say that you're trying to help the SNP by quitting?
No, this is about delivering that independent supermajority. I'll be 63 next month, Sophie. Throughout my life, Scotland has rejected the Tories, not just Boris Johnson, but Thatcher, Heath and others before, and continually we're left with a Tory government. We now stand with our economy threatened by Brexit, with our health service threatened by trade deals that are coming, nuclear weapons escalating that are based on the Clyde. That's simply unacceptable. The time has come for Scotland to decide its own destiny.
You think the SNP alone can't defeat Boris Johnson and cannot deliver independence? That's the logical conclusion of this.
Well, the arithmetic's clear. In 2016, the SNP did not get a majority. They had 1 million list votes and returned 4 MSPs. The independent supermajority could be delivered by the Alba party on the list. The Yes movement, the independence movement, is a broad church. It encompasses more than one political party, and it encompasses many people in other or no political parties. So we believe that the time has come for that independence movement to come together, reflected by more than one political party, but to make sure that it's the Scottish people who prevail and it's the Scottish people who decide, and that will be the Scottish Parliament that will then confront Boris Johnson after the 6th of May.
So if this is all about helping the SNP, I'm a bit baffled by their reaction to it all, to be honest. After you defected, Ian Blackford said of you, he's been an increasing embarrassment to many in the SNP, and his departure is somewhat of a relief. Doesn't sound like you're leaving on the best of terms.
Well, the SNP speak for themselves. I've made it clear that I'll be supporting a former colleague in East Lothian. It's be up to individuals in Alba to decide what they do. But the Yes movement, the independence movement, is a broad church. It's not simply the SNP. The SNP on their own failed to achieve a majority in 2016. Alba party can ensure that there is an independence majority in 2021. We won't be beholden to the SNP because we are not the SNP, but we certainly campaign for independence, and we certainly stand on the radical tradition and the radical policies that the SNP used to, and I believe in many instances still support.
Used to stand on? It's a bit of a slip of the tongue there.
No, well, there are issues that I think have caused many people concern in the SNP. That's why some have come over. Just today, we had the Equalities Officer from the SNP coming over, along with a colleague. The Alba Party now has more MPs in Scotland than the Labour Party. We are here to stay. We are going to deliver a result in 2021 in the election to make sure that it's the supermajority that is delivered. This election is already becoming about independence. We've got to make sure that the outcome is about an independent majority within the Scottish Parliament, and that allows Scotland's democracy to choose. We cannot go on under Boris Johnson. We've had austerity inflicted. It's going to increase. The time has come for Scotland to go its own way, and to do so, we're required to be an independent nation.
I'm just trying to work out why you think Alex Salmond is the man to help deliver the independence that you want. Because according to the latest opinion poll for Sky News, Nicola Sturgeon's got a +21 approval rating among Scots, +67 among independent supporters. Alex Salmond's approval rating is -60. And even 68% of yes supporters have an unfavourable view of him. I mean, do you really think he's an asset to the independence cause?
Well, I think Alex Salmond was pivotal to the independence cause and delivered the 2014 referendum. But this is the Alba party. It's not.
And he also lost
the
that
Alba
referendum.
party, not the Alex Salmond party, and that's why others have come on board. Just yesterday, we had Corey Wilson, a former SNP MP, join the party. Just today, we have Councillor Lynn Anderson, the Equalities Officer for the SNP. They put their trust and faith in Mr. Salmond, and exactly the same as a Scottish jury acquitted him on all charges, a jury that was overwhelmingly represented by women.
You say, very rightly, of course, that he was acquitted by that jury. Nicola Sturgeon says, though, in a Scotland on Sunday interview today, that serious questions have been raised about the appropriateness of his behaviour towards women while he held the highest office in the land. I think that raises real questions about the appropriateness of any return to public office. Do you think that Alex Salmond still has serious questions to answer, as Nicola Sturgeon says?
No, we've had 2 court cases. He has been successful in both a civil and indeed a criminal court action. That is behind us. We go forward. And indeed, it's for Ms Sturgeon to ask about why others in the SNP who behaved inappropriately were not dealt with. But we're going to keep this positive on independence. We're not here to battle with the SNP. We are here to win on the list, and that will be contesting against the SNP because they can't deliver that independent supermajority. But we are part of the wider independence movement. It is not the prerogative of one political party. There is more than one political party pursuing independence in Scotland, and I will continue to campaign for independence, target my fire against the unionist parties who are once again seeking to coalesce, and I would hope that other political parties would recognise that it's a common cause of independence, not name-throwing, that they should be carrying out.
Now, of course, as you say, Alex Salmond's always denied all of the harassment allegations made against him. He was cleared of all the charges in court, important to state. But in the court case, his defence lawyer did say, I'm not here to suggest he always behaved well or he couldn't have been a better man on occasions, because he certainly could have been better. And Alex Salmond has previously said, I'm no saint, I've got flaws. Are you comfortable being in a party with him as leader?
Well, let him without sin cast the first stone, since we're speaking on a Sunday. Equally, you're just asking a Tory minister about behaviour within the Tories. I think the people I'm most concerned about would be allowing Boris Johnson to continue running the roost in Scotland, along with the likes of Priti Patel or Matt Hancock. So when it comes to this, I think the SNP, the Alba party, and indeed the politicians in Scotland, in fact, most parties stand far above that. So I'm comfortable, and as I say, that was shown by Corey Wilson and indeed Lynn Anderson today, showing that they have every faith in him. But this is about the Alba party delivering that independence supermajority. It's not about any individual, and it's not about name-throwing or tittle-tattle. And I hope that people in my former party will reflect upon who's actually shown commitment in the past and who's still showing commitment in the future, and that we should show some common cause rather than, as I say, seek to divide the independence movement.
Just finally, at the last election, you, of course, stood under the SNP banner. You're now representing a different party. Shouldn't you hold a by-election?
No, I'll be doing what has been done before at the outside of the Scottish Parliament. Donald Dewar and Labour MPs exercised a dual mandate during the Parliament that I served in. Alex Salmond and indeed John Swinney, the Deputy First Minister of the Scottish Parliament, stood on a dual mandate and represented both Westminster and Holyrood. So I'll be seeking to represent Holyrood, as well as retaining and continue to serve my constituents in East Lothian.
OK, thank you very much for being on the programme. Kenny MacAskill there. Thank you.